Good evening and welcome to Zodiac News with me, Robert Kalua. I'm glad you could join us. Let's have a look at our sports stories. President Peter Mutharika launches the Public Sector Reforms Initiative, which is touted as magic bullet in cutting government expenditure and enhancing efficiency. And NFRA workers return to work after management gave them ultimatum to stay or resign to end strike. Lilongwe teachers hold vigil to protest against hourly delays and other problems rocking the Ministry of Education. Malawi MPs support access to public information bill to ensure dissemination of accurate and credible information. These are some of our top stories tonight. Stay with us. President Peter Mutharika today, Wednesday, launched the Public Sector Reforms Initiative, which is touted as magic bullet in cutting government expenditure and enhancing efficiency. President Mutharika said his government will ensure the government resources are directed at critical areas to stimulate Malawi's growth. Charles Wahara reports.
President Peter Mutharika said the public service is crucial for government operations and the socio-economic well-being of this country at large. The president said, therefore, the country's citizens expect a civil service that is professional, efficient, and effective, and ready to meet current and future challenges. According to the president, there should also be a change of mindset among the country's citizens for meaningful reforms to take root. Mutharika added that there is political will on the part of government that Malawi should move forward and develop, but people need to work collectively. As Malawians, we are on our way of reforming the public service. The launch saw the president and individual aid ministries, through their respective ministers, sign contracts with the president as a pilot project, but performance results will be made public. Among the ministries that have signed contracts with the president are Finance and Economic Planning, Local Government and Rural Development, Ministry of Natural Resources, Energy and Mining, and the Ministry of Home Affairs and Internal Security. Meanwhile, some captains in the private sector, including Group Chief Executive Officer for Press Corporation, Professor Matthew Chikaonda, have welcomed the launch of the public reforms.
We say that private sector is the engine for economic growth, but where the private sector is not ticking, it slows down private sector in many, many areas. I'll give you an example. Take the banking system, where we rely on collateral, say houses, land, and if the public service is not working, the civil service is not working, to efficiently move things like title deeds and stuff like that, we can't lend to the general public that where we might need collateral. What is very interesting or crucial about these particular reforms that have been announced, and I looked at the preliminary report because I was a part of the group that gave feedback when the Commission met the private sector, there is actually going to be a serious monitoring and evaluation effort and mechanism. For example, that there will be a parliamentary committee that will oversee the reforms. And I think this is very encouraging that the executive branch, together with the legislature, will be working together, at least to monitor these things. Malawi, I would say, has suffered a lot because of some of the problems we have in the public service. Delays in implementation of many, many things. There are many countries in the world, in Africa in particular, that have actually learned things from us and gone ahead to implement them, and they have done very well. As a man thinketh, so is he. In other words, you become what you think. If your mindset is backward, you will be backward yourself. So you should think really positively to say that let's look after Malawi. What we call government property, for example, is our property. Why do we destroy such kind of property?
For Zodiac, this is Charles Wahara.
National Food Reserve Agency workers have returned to work after being given an ultimatum to return or resign following a protracted strike demanding better pay. Where some workers have confided with ZBS that NFRA management sought the intervention of the police to end the strike at all costs. As Tadala Karitzia reports, the workers were asked to sign a document or whether they were interested to work or not, a development that forced most of the workers to return to work.
The staff working at National Food Reserve Agency, NFRA, resumed work on Wednesday, with most of them doing their usual work. The NFRA employees have been on a strike for more than 3 days, demanding a 45% salary increment. The workers say they are now working under pressure and with fear, as the police forced them to sign acceptance letters to go back to work after the strike.
We found the policemen at the gate waiting for us with the commitment letters. They forced us to sign them, failing which would mean firing ourselves. We are working under pressure. All we want is a salary increment because there is too much work here and we haven't heard anything from government.
A lot of people have signed the letter. Only few of us have not. We are wondering why the police are forcing us to sign them when government is mum on the matter. Management just says they will address the matter.
Zodiak got hold of the letter. However, the Chief Executive Officer for NFRA, Nasinuku Saukira, has denied the reports that the police forced the employees to sign the letters. He said they are confident that government will address their grievances in less than a month.
All employees have returned to work. They are ready to wait to hear from government on the matter because government has promised us to resolve the issue with speed, realizing the importance of the agency. It won't be a month. We are confident that it will not be that long because although the employees went on strike, discussions with government regarding what they could offer the employees were already at an advanced stage. It is not true that they have been forced to work. You can independently verify that fact. What happened was that government provided security to national assets. They had to ensure they were secured.
Security was tight here. For Zodiac News, this is Tadala Kalidzira.
Some newly recruited secondary school teachers from various districts have accused the government of neglecting their welfare after going without pay for 5 months. A representative of the teachers, Alinafe Waya, says they will hold demonstrations to protest against the delay in paying their dues months after they were recruited into the civil service. Minister of Education authorities are yet to comment on the matter. Veronica Mali caught up with Mr. Waya.
The petition is all about asking the Minister of Education to pay us our salaries plus arrears from the month of September 2014 up to date. The petition has been addressed to the chairperson of Parliamentary Committee on Education. Yeah, we have tried a number of means to get our salaries and arrears, but to no avail. Now we feel maybe the Parliamentary Committee of Education can come in and assist us so that we can get our salaries and arrears from September up to this date. We were employed on September 2014. That means from that time up to date, we haven't received our salaries and arrears. Yeah, we have tried a number of means, but to no avail. We have been having the answers which we have been given are not tangible. So we have decided that we should now hold these demonstrations to Parliament so that they should assist us to have our salaries and arrears.
Alinafe Waya, a representative of newly recruited secondary school teachers who have gone 5 months without pay. In a related development, some teachers in Nibonge Wednesday morning held a vigil to protest against salary delays and other problems rocking the Ministry of Education. The teachers say, among other things, they are demanding their leave grants, which were due last year. I was there, and this is what I had to find out. After 3 months without receiving their salaries, primary school teachers from Lilongwe Rural East have put their tools down to force the authorities to attend to their grievances on leave grants. These are teachers from different primary schools right here in the capital city. They're on strike because they say some of them have not received their salaries since December last year, and also some of them are complaining to say they have not yet been paid their leave grants. And they've come at the district education office here to actually demand, to actually force government to make sure that their salaries are paid and also their leave grants are also paid to them. So that's why you're seeing they're actually dressed in red, showing signs to say they're not happy with the way they're being handled. They're working day and night, but it seems like the government is not really thinking about these people. That's why they're staging a strike right here at the district education officer. They're here to actually to actually give out their petition, on which they've explained, they've actually outlined a number of things that they would want government to actually look at and also improve on their everyday to-day lives. Teachers Union of Malawi, TUM, National Coordinator Charles Kumchenga, alleges that the teachers are always mistreated by the District Education Manager's office.
Yeah, teachers they are on strike because they are demanding their leave grants. That is the first thing. But there are a lot of issues which they want the DEM to address. The first thing and the foremost issue is leave grant. All DEMs were given monies to pay for the leave grants to teachers. Unfortunately, DEM Lirongoliro East was given the same money, but she did not disperse the monies to the teachers. So that's why teachers are asking, where is our monies? And that's why they are on strike today. Several times, the district committee for the Teachers Union of Malawi had been visiting the DEM's office, inquiring where the monies are, but unfortunately, the answers were not satisfactory. That's why today they have decided to be on vigil. Unfortunately, the DEM herself is not here, and definitely the teachers are going to step ahead. What will happen? They will demand the DEM to be out, definitely. The DEM must not be in the office because she's not serving the teachers. That's what teachers are saying today. And as Teachers Union of Malawi, we are saying the same song.
The teachers have vowed to continue with their vigil until their concerns are addressed. For ZBS in Lilongwe, this is Robert Kanwa. And some members of parliament have drummed up support to have the Access to Information Bill passed into law to ensure dissemination of accurate and credible information. Speaking in Parliament Tuesday, Kasungu North East legislator Wakuda Kamanga and Lilongwe South MP Peter Dimba agreed in actually observing that lack of access to information leads to inaccurate information and speculations being reported as fact. Malawian media advocates have been in the forefront pushing for the enactment of the law, which they say has been gathering dust for some years now. Veronica Mwale reports.
During the Tuesday budget review meeting, some members of parliament expressed worry over delays to pass the Access to Information Bill. The legislators say the delay continues to contribute to some media houses publishing wrong information. If passed, the Access to Information Bill will enable Malawians access public information easily. According to the members, recently some media houses have published conflicting stories due to failure to access information.
Allow me, Mr. Speaker, sir, to sincerely thank the Honourable Minister of Finance for disputing, through his media budget review statement, the blue lie that the propaganda machine churned out on the front page of 2nd February 2015 Day Times to the effect that government has made a surplus of 20 billion. Mr. Speaker, sir, some of us knew it was a lie because this government has a culture of impunity and a tradition of telling lies. I did not fault the reporter because as long as the cabinet continues to fool Malawians and change goalposts on the tabling of Access to Information Bill, government transactions will continue to be shrouded in secrecy. Deceit and trickery will continue to be the foundation of this throne.
As a preamble, I would wish to request members of this august House that each time they want to make a statement to the media, they should ensure that they do not put this House into disrepute. I say this because last week, a senior member of a political party did go to the press and said that for being idle, we members of parliament spent 38 million, and that we draw 100,000 kwacha in allowances every day. This is bad information.
Last week, President Peter Mutharika said the bill is still one of his government's priorities. According to the president, the bill could not be tabled in the current parliament sitting as the main objective of the sitting is the media budget review, which requires the full attention of members of the August House. I am Veronica Mwale.
Malawian seed breeders will soon have their rights recognized after years of toiling without any return on investment and research. Minister of Agriculture Alan Chembekeza says government is working on a new policy that will recognize local seed breeders and ensure they receive royalties on their innovations. Internationally, seed breeders have their innovations patented and receive revenue in form of royalties. George Kalungu reports.
For seed of any crops like these to be commercialized, it all starts with research, which in most cases takes not less than 2 years, with rigorous works of selection and reselection. As such, in most countries, seed breeders keep the rights to protect their releases and get royalties from those using them. This is not the case, though, in Malawi, as there is no law to protect seed breeders. Now, a provision has been incorporated in the new seed policy and bill to safeguard ownership and transfer of varieties and technologies, says Richard Kachule, a research fellow with Bunda College.
Plant breeders' rights has been an issue because our public breeders are saying that they don't get like royalties after their initiative. Maybe they have come up with a variety or a breed. At the end of the day, whatever revenue is being generated by the private company, they are not honored. So we would want, as an incentive to the public breeders, that once somebody comes up with a breed, it should be honored in one way or the other through royalties. It may not be too much, but at least it's an incentive for other people to come and improve the seed industry. Being a policy issue, it has to be taken to Parliament first, because all policies are passed through the Parliament.
Established under Minister of Agriculture Dr. Alan Chembekeza admits that the absence of a law to protect seed breeders is counterproductive, especially for breeders in the public sector, and says soon government will take to Parliament the revised seed bill, which has got a provision to protect seed breeders.
That's something that has been outstanding in this country, but there is a process that is underway. There is a committee that is looking into that, and we are hopeful that sometime in the near future we'll have those rights with us. I'm also a breeder by profession. I've developed quite a number of varieties. I don't enjoy the benefits because we don't have those rights. It's better late than have something, so definitely we'll have the breeders' rights in place.
This week, agriculturists met in Nilongwe to bang heads on how to strengthen the proposed new seed policy, which, together with the proposed seed bill, will protect the rights of seed breeders in the country. For Zodiak in Nilongwe, this is George Kalungwe.
A reminder that you're watching news on Zodiac live from our studios in Nilongwe. We have more news after the break. There have been demanding reports of rape, child trafficking and other abuses in camps where people escaping from Boko Haram are being kept. Meanwhile, the Nigerian government has instituted a commission to investigate the allegations, and Jacqueline Shema has more in this BBC report.
Nigeria is to investigate reports of rapes, child trafficking and other abuses in camps for people fleeing from the militant Islamist group Boko Haram. The country's National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has formed a panel to investigate the abuses. A spokesperson for the agency told the BBC that investigators would visit every camp for displaced people. Approximately 3.2 million Nigerians have fled their homes to escape Boko Haram's insurgency in the northeast. NEMA's investigation is a response to a report published by the Nigeria's Calabar-based International Center for Investigating Reporting, ICIR.
The United Nations has temporarily suspended its support to the Democratic Republic of Congo soldiers in its campaign against rebels. This follows DRC's refusal to fire the senior military official embroiled in some irregularities. Malik Mnela has more in this BBC report.
The United Nations is temporarily pulling support to the Democratic Republic of Congo's military operation to drive out rebels after Kinshasa refused to sack 2 tainted generals leading the offensive. The United Nations 20,000-strong MONUSCO force had been working with Congo's army on a plan of attack to drive out the Democratic Forces for the Liberation of Rwanda, FDLR, from the east after more than 2 decades. The planned joint offensive, however, hit a wall when UN officials demanded that 2 generals accused of human rights violations be replaced as a condition for supporting the military action. President Joseph Kabila's government last week rejected a UN ultimatum to replace the 2 generals who are on a UN red list of non-human rights violators.
Let's now move to sports news. Let's Football Club will leave Tanzania for their CAF Champions League assignment in Comoros Island on Sunday. Meanwhile, the team is camping in Tanzania where they're training ahead of their weekend fixture. Bullets chairman Kondi Msungama say the team will assemble in Comoros Islands at the weekend. Msungama explains.
The latest is that we have decided to camp here in Dar es Salaam. Reason being, the only flight to Comoros Islands, the first one will go on Thursday. So due to space, we have only 8 seats on Thursday, whereby some of us will go first, and then on Saturday the team will follow. So looking at the time factor, we thought we should just be relaxing or moving around Dar es Salaam. We have decided to take use of the time. So we have come to here, and fortunately, the delegation, Mrs. Mandira, went to the ministry to ask for permission. We have been given the stadium to use the facility at no cost. So we are very thankful to the Tanzanian government for doing so. At the same time, we believe all is in place, and there is no need for Malawians to panic at all because everything is under control.
That's how we wrap up tonight's edition of the news. But before I sign out, another look at some of our major stories. President Peter Mutharika launches the Public Sector Reforms Initiative, which is touted as the magic bullet in cutting government expenditure and enhancing efficiency. NFRA workers returned to work after management gave them ultimatum to stay or resign to end the strike. Lilongwe teachers hold vigil to protest against the salary delays and other problems rocking the Ministry of Education. And Malawi MPs support access to public information bill to ensure dissemination of accurate and credible information. On that note, it's time to say goodbye. I'm Robert Kalua, thinking of you for being there. Thank you so much for being there. Good night.